Hi, my name is Colleen Ellis, and I'm a student here at Cape Cod Community College. I love this school, and I'm currently the president of student government and the debate club. Coming to Cape Cod Community College, I wanted to make sure that I got the most out of my experience here. I came from a large school in Rhode Island. After my freshman year, I was saddened to realize that it just wasn't the place for me. I transferred to Cape Cod Community College for what was supposed to be a brief reevaluation of my ambitions and goals for college. I came here thinking that this was just going to be a pit stop for me. That is, until I fell in love with the school. The professors and faculty care so much, and they really want the best for you. Everything felt personalized. I knew that being a student here meant more than showing up to class, doing homework, and submitting papers. One of the best things I did for myself was join clubs and organizations here. Joining the Debate Club and the Student Government Association has truly made me a fully rounded individual and helped me prepare for my next destination after 4Cs, wherever that may be. Not only did I gain important life skills like leadership, public speaking, and time management, but I made a lot of lifelong friends along the way and meaningful connections. It's really easy to get the most out of Cape Cod Community College. Try as much as you can while you're here. Who knows? Maybe you have a secret talent in debating or have always wanted to be the face of leadership on campus. And you may never know unless you give it a shot. Show up to as many different club meetings as you can. Try everything and try anything. As we always say, powerful futures start here. But the choice to start your powerful future is in your hands. I look forward to seeing you all at some of the meetings this fall and maybe even the spring too. Welcome to Cape Cod Community College.
Hello, my name is Savannah O'Brien and I'm the incoming Vice President of SGA as well as the President of Orchard Club and a Certified Peer Educator here on campus. I started at Cape Cod Community College as a dual enrollment student while I was still in high school, and I'm finishing up my degree here before I eventually move on. The thing I love most about 4Cs is that whether you're from the Cape or just passing through, 4Cs quickly becomes a second home. No matter where you're at in life, Cape Cod Community College will help you provide the support necessary to get you where you want to be and might even help uncover some new interests and passions along the way. When I first started here, I was shy and hesitant to participate in any activities, and now I'm involved with multiple clubs and helping to plan events, including planting an orchard right here on campus. All of our clubs are open to members and typically have very little requirements. Just show up. My experience here at 4Cs has been dramatically improved by participating in the activities and events that are available, and it all started just by going to one club meet and greet. 4Cs has helped me discover my passion for environmental science and horticulture, and Orchard Club has allowed me to put both into practice, taking soil samples and helping to maintain our orchard. This club was founded on the principles of sustainability, community, and legacy, and as the new president of this club and vice president of SGA, I hope to bring these principles to the whole school. I want to inspire and encourage others who might not feel like they fit in to make that leap and get involved with something new. You might be surprised at where you end up.
One of the things that I love about this school in particular is that you really put yourself directly in the setting. So our hangar doors open out to the airport's apron. That's where the airplanes are, that's where the action happens. And so it's not removed from, it's not distant from the work that you're going to do, it's right in the midst of. And so there's a lot of opportunity, learning, connections, networking that happens all the time. The faculty in a program like this one, and particularly ours, brings forward some really useful real-world experience. So the people that have been out there, done the job, put their hands on the equipment, know what it's like, know what the work culture is like, and then are able to bring that back and articulate it in the classroom.
It's important to have a school where the faculty has broad experience because one thing, not only do they teach you how to work on airplanes, but they have the information and the experience, so this way they can help you decide which direction you may want to take your career. All the faculty here does the same thing. They speak to the students, look at the students' strong points, and make suggestions on which direction they might want to consider going.
We really care about aviation, we love aviation, and we tried to bring our love of it and transfer it over to the students.
Our staff has a very wide variety of experience. So we got guys that work on just small airplanes, we got guys that work on just big airplanes, and we got a lot of people that work on both.
When you first show up, there's a heavy emphasis on just some real important fundamentals. Some of that is how to get in the mindset of being a technician in a super safety sensitive field, and then moves into the fundamentals, the math, the science you're going to need, and then from there into the really fun, the tangible, how do you disassemble that engine and rebuild it? How do you fabricate that sheet metal part? How do you paint? How do you weld? All the things that are necessary in the field get covered here so that when you leave, you're ready to go. Aviation maintenance technology is a growing field. They're gonna need technicians going into the future.
The opportunities are immense. That's what we try to impart on the students. Once you get your airframe and power plant license, you can take your career any direction you want.
You should come to Cape Cod Community College for aviation maintenance because the faculty is ready and prepared to do everything to make you successful.
This is Cape Media News, your local authentic newscast for Cape Cod. I'm Gabrielle Rawson. Thank you for joining us.
Education saved my life. I had signed up to go into accounting and I left a liberal arts major and was able to take that interest over to Bridgewater State University, where I ended up getting my bachelor's degree in English. 4Cs really allowed me to kind of explore all of the disciplines and all of the education opportunities and find myself. The faculty at Cape Cod Community College, they really genuinely cared about me and making sure that I was enjoying my time at the college. The reason I have the job I have now is because of a connection I made at 4Cs. 4Cs not only taught me how to find my voice, it taught me how to use it. I'm Gabrielle Rawson, and my powerful future started at Cape Cod Community College.
Hello and welcome to Intentional Critical Conversations. I'm your host and academic coordinator here at Cape Cod Community College, Sarah Ann Samito. We'd like to welcome you here. Bienvenida, as we celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. We're here on a journey as we celebrate this month with our esteemed guest, Brodeur. So before we begin this interview, let's take a moment to recognize where we're at, recognize the space. Yes, we are in the great Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but we are in the land of the Mashpee and Akina Wampanoag. We are also in the land of the Massachusetts Nation, the Nipmuc Nation, and the Micmac residing in Dorchester region. So I'd like to make sure that we acknowledge where we are at. So now let's welcome Anna Brodeur, Assistant Branch Manager of the Cooperative Bank of Cape Cod, Hyannis. And today we have 5 questions for you. Welcome, Anna.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us. So let's begin with our first question. Oftentimes in school, social studies or history classes, we hear about the continents, North America, South America, but we always seem to skip over an important piece of land called Central America. And Central America is so important because it connects the 2 continents. But there we have Panama, right above Colombia, and we have El Salvador, Nicaragua, Honduras, and Mexico. And right under Mexico, we have Belize and
Guatemala.
Yes, so thank you for joining us today. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. Tell us a little bit about the capital of Guatemala, where you were born, your specific town, and the historic city of Antigua.
Yes, I was born in Guatemala City. I lived on a town on the outskirts of the city, probably about 5.5 miles. It is called Santa Catarina Pinula. What I really loved about Guatemala City is the architectural buildings. And we have, for example, the National Palace that is somewhat what you would call similar to the White House. We also have the National Library with its picturesque architecture. We have Torre Reformador, which means the Tower of the Reformer. And that actually was built and based off of the Eiffel Tower. So Guatemala has a lot of, architectural richness throughout the city. Antigua, Guatemala actually was the old capital, hence the name Antique, which means Antigua. Before moving to various places, it is moved now to where the city is at right now. A fun fact about Antigua, it is called the City of the Perpetual Roses. It is a place where you're going to find many of the roses, including what we call our national flower, which is a white monja. In addition to that, I believe that Antigua has kept a lot of the historic buildings, and a lot of the history is still there. And when you visit it, you will see all the cobblestones streets, and not to mention the beautiful scenery that Antigua has to offer, such as the volcanoes.
Thank you. It seems like we just went to Guatemala.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So I was reading your bio, and it states that you came to the U.S. in 2006. So tell us, what brought you to the United States, and how has your experience been immigrating to the U.S.?
Yeah, it's actually a very good story. I met my husband on social media back in 2005. He visited Guatemala, and I actually came here to visit him here on the Cape. Fell in love. We decided to get married, and we decided to make our home and have a family here on the Cape. Especially because I absolutely fell in love with the Cape and the calmness of it, and I got acclimated to this country very easily, to the culture, but I still do bring my own culture into my family. So that's it was very easy for me also because I've learned English ever since I was little. So I think that was a good part as to why I felt so at home.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, you're in banking, you're in financing, the banking world. Give us a little bit of your educational background in both the United States, but more importantly, in Guatemala. What led you also to the business of banking?
Yes, in Guatemala, actually, I graduated high school and vocational school, if you will. I graduated in 2004 as a bilingual secretary. It did have a concentration in tourism and hospitality. The tourism piece allowed me to go to all the beautiful places in Guatemala and actually get to know about more of our history. Once I came here in 2019, I actually graduated from New England College of Business and Finance and got my associate degree in Associate of Science in Business Administration and concentrated on finance. And I am continuing my education right now in Southern New Hampshire University in the same field, and I'm getting my bachelor's degree. I've always been interested in the finance world. This is something that we are dealing with currency and, something that is very important, a piece to the world. So in order to do that, you have to have some structure, which I was very attracted to, how the finance world works, and be able to be a part of that structure as well.
Okay, so a little off topic, yet but on topic. In America, we have the U.S. dollar.
Yes.
Do you remember what the money is called, the currency is called in Guatemala?
Absolutely. It is called quetzal, and is actually named after our national bird, quetzal. It's a beautiful green bird with a red chest, very long tail, and I encourage you to look it up online. It's one of the most beautiful birds you'll ever see. But our currency, it is based on that, on our national bird.
Thank you for sharing that. And a little bit about the flag. We know the colors, sky blue and white and sky blue, and there's a coat of arms there. Could you tell us a little bit about that flag?
Yes, actually, el escudo, like what we would say, it just really means the strength that Guatemala has. We are a small country compared to others, but we are very independent, and that's what it stands for. And on top of that, you also see the quetzal, which is our national bird.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And I think when we began, I forgot to mention in Central America, we do have Costa Rica. I forgot to mention Costa Rica and Belize. So this program is called Intentional Critical Conversations, and we do focus on inclusion, diversity, equity, and access. And the program did come out, unfortunately, of the death of Ms. Breonna Taylor and Mr. George Floyd. And we do have an idea committee here, and the campus is attempting to embrace social justice and racial justice as well. So when you hear the words inclusion, diversity, equity, and access, when it comes to, and you talk about these terms, Spanish speaking, Latinx, Latin, Latina, Latino, Hispanic population, which two words stick out to you the most?
I would say inclusion and diversity. We hear these words all the time, but for me, I think that sometimes it gets lost that the Spanish-speaking community is actually, not just one country. There's many countries that, have the Spanish language. So as a professional woman, I like to see that diversity, not just outside, and I like to see that inside, because each and every country, Spanish-speaking, we do have, a unique culture in every single one. And we should be considered a community, a part of the society equally. But I would like to see that inclusion within our community as well.
Okay, thank you. And over the course of this past year in the series, we've been learning the term African diaspora. And we've interchangeably used the term African American, Black American, just as we are learning the term Afro-Latino. What's really interesting sometimes is we forget of the indigenous person. We did do a land acknowledgement today of this space. We are in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, but you have indigenous ancestry as well, and your nation is, what's the name of your nation that you are an ancestor, that you derived from?
We are, I would consider myself a part of the Mayans. I know that we are descendants from the Mayans, as well as people from Spain that came over our country. We are Hispanic. Thus, would consider myself a Hispanic Latina person.
As we celebrate Hispanic Heritage
Absolutely.
Month today. Thank you. So, I have one last question for you. Okay. Can you share with us some little-known facts about Guatemala and Guatemalan customs and what you want the viewers and listeners to walk away with? And please take your time on this. Tell us a recipe. Tell us maybe how there's Sunday evening dinner. What do we do on the infamous Sabado? What kind of music do we listen to in Guatemala? Do we listen to cumbia or salsa merengue? So, feel free to take your time on this question.
Well, a fun fact, our independence is September 15th, so we are on the perfect month. I think that I would like the viewers and listeners to really get a good picture of how rich Guatemala is in nature. We have, I believe, 19 ecosystems. We have rainforests, volcanoes. We have lakes. One of the most beautiful lakes in the world is called Atitlan. We have the beautiful ruins in Tikal, the Mayan ruins. And not to mention the gastronomy, the vast gastronomy that the country has to offer. So I think that is a very important piece of Guatemala, just to really understand and know what a beautiful country it is. And we really have a lot of natural resources, hence the nickname that the country got, which is Land of the Eternal Spring. So that's what Guatemala is called. I would say that we normally would consider lunch the main meal, not dinner. We were just conversing this before. We do have a lot of natural food, not many processed foods, and I just remember growing up that way. Another fun fact, I guess, it would be that on the Christmas celebrations, we actually celebrated on December 24th. So all the Christmas celebrations are done that day. Family gets together, music, and we eat the famous tamales. We have ponche, which is a nice hot drink that's a punch made of fruit. And midnight, then everybody comes and says, Merry Christmas, and that's what usually happens around that time. And among other, traditions, we also have the volcano of Pacaya near the city, which is always active. And there is various places that you can go and have a cup of, atol. It's like a corn drink, and just be able to look out on the beautiful city and, on the background see the active volcano. So we are very welcoming. Guatemalans are called very welcoming and very friendly. So that is, one of the most important pieces as a Guatemalan person, as a Guatemalan woman, my country's natural resources and the natural beauty that, we have to offer to the entire world.
Okay, thank you.
Back to you, Saren.
Thank you. And one thing that Anna forgot to mention is chocolate.
Absolutely,
and
chocolate.
Jade.
Yes.
Very important.
And coffee.
Coffee
as well. Yes.
And I have another short little question here. When you were a student in Guatemala, do you recall a siesta after that largest meal?
No.
No.
We don't have that. No.
No.
It's actually probably more so, I don't know if that's a Mexican tradition, but no, we don't have that. Okay. No. I guess when, preschool is sort of like here, my kids have, a snack, or in daycare they used to have a nap time, but no, I don't recall having that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. It's greatly appreciated as we welcome Anna Brodeur. You are welcome. And I hope to see you all on October 12th as we welcome Haitian-American poet, former City of Boston Poet Laureate, Miss Danielle Legros-George. Thank you all. Stay well, stay blessed, stay lifted.